Please allow me to introduce Emily. Emily will be the new podcast manager and producer moving forward. This will be my final episode as I will be leaving the Student Association. I'm on taking a work trip out to Calgary, Alberta, so this will be my final one. But we thought we'd join forces today to kind of reconnect, welcome Emily to the show, and just kind of go over a few last things. But Emily, we're super excited to have you on and welcome, and we know you're going to do awesome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to take over the podcast and see where it can go.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Leighton, we're going to miss you very much.
Yeah, thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. It's kind of bittersweet. I'm moving for something exciting, but at the same time, I've had such an awesome experience kind of working with and growing this podcast. It's been a great learning experience, and a lot of cool things have come out of it. We get a chance to talk with awesome people, talk about cool topics, and just kind of see and start to build a brand. It's been a cool experience. So, Emily, let's start with you. What are some of the things you might be excited about joining the podcast, and where do you think that this thing can go?
Well, I'm excited because one, I've always listened to podcasts, but I've never actually taken on a podcast role. But it's like it's the new thing now. That's how everyone's connecting. That's how you get information. That's how you just have a laugh. And I'm just really excited to get it going and getting some cool guests on that can really help the students out with services and orientation, all that, especially in the beginning, and give them a good SLC welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to second on what you said there, this podcast really gives you the leverage to talk to a lot of cool people. I know Elle and I have interviewed probably close to a dozen people from around the community, whether it be a nurse, we interviewed the mayor, we interviewed an entrepreneur from Calgary. We're all over the map on this thing, and that's what it's all about. It's just bringing different experience to the forefront so that students can kind of listen and get a chance to kind of see what's out there. So I definitely encourage you to leverage it. Talk to a lot of cool people because this is your chance. And as Elle can definitely chime in, I think she'll recognize that this is it's a unique opportunity, and people love helping students. So
yeah, for sure. It's definitely a fun experience too. I think that is a lot of advice that some people have asked me now that we've been doing this podcast, like, what would you recommend to somebody else? And really, it's just about having fun with it. You're going to get more comfortable. You're going to get better at it as time goes on. And yeah, like both of you said, you just get to meet some really, really cool people. So Leighton, I do want to ask, what is it that you're going to miss the most about being on this podcast or podcasting in general? I'm not sure if it's something that you're going to continue. So I'd love to know.
Yeah, podcasting for this particular brand and what we've created here, what I'll miss is just the people, just working with you guys on a weekly basis. I think it's been a challenge and a room of growth for me to kind of take this from where we started it from absolute scratch last summer to where it is now. I think it has a pretty good process in place, and Emily's going to improve on it and grow it even more. So I'm excited to see where it goes in the next year. But yeah, just being around like-minded, driven people who want to kind of help us, help the school, help students, and just the ability to talk with not only Elle and Beth and Raquel on a weekly basis, but what the other thing I liked too was the host search. We started out last year with Danny and Reed, and those two guys were awesome. I think we had a lot of fun with them. They kind of brought their own unique kind of personalities to the show, just like everybody does. And I think the hosts that we've chosen to move forward to for the 2020 school year are going to do the exact same. We got 5 great people there who are going to be involved. And so that was for me, just being around people who like doing this, who are motivated and inspired, I think was the biggest thing for me, the biggest takeaway.
That's super sweet, Leighton. I think, yeah, you're definitely right. These new hosts that we have on are going to do amazing, amazing things. And it was super helpful to have you on our sides to really, really help with that. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm sure you can second this, Elle, but just the comfort level that we've both kind of shown and grown with over the last year. For me, the biggest change was me jumping behind the camera once COVID-19 hit and we kind of all went into quarantine. We all couldn't obviously book podcasts together and do recordings. So I had to jump behind the camera, and just going from producer to slash host at the same time was really, it was a huge area of growth for me, because it's something that I don't think everybody's comfortable with right away. So once you get behind the camera and you realize, oh, it's not that scary, it's not that intimidating, I can do this. And I actually liked it a lot more than I thought I would, because you're able to talk to who you want to talk to. You're able to set up meetings, and you can ask the questions that you really want to kind of get the answers to. So that was another huge takeaway for me, is just an area of growth. And Emily, I hope you find the same. I hope that you don't just move into a producer role, and I hope you do a couple podcasts a month, because I think it's a huge room for growth for a student and for a new professional. I think you'll definitely take a lot out of it, as I'm sure I've seen tremendous growth in Elle, just in her question asking and her preparation in the last year. She's definitely grown in leaps and bounds, as I think a lot of us have. And I definitely encourage you both to keep on doing it, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to jump in and host and be able to meet the different people that I'll get to meet that I might not necessarily be able to if I wasn't doing this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, for sure. You're definitely right, Leighton. It's super funny, Emily, and I'm sure you'll find the same thing. If you look back on some of our earlier episodes, even with Reed and Danny, they're not here right now, but even all of us, I think, have grown so much. And Leighton, I'm really, really happy that you got to experience getting on behind the camera, because we all knew that you would be a natural at it, which it ended up happening. So it was nice when, I mean, everything was pretty crazy and hectic, but it was a good opportunity and nice to see you kind of behind the camera. So with that being said, what kind of advice would you give to myself or Emily kind of taking over this position moving forward with the podcast?
Great question. I love that question. And I actually had an answer prepared for that, so I'm glad you asked it. And you know what? It's be fearless. Go do what you want to do with it, because some of our best guests and podcasts that I think came out of it just came from us asking, can you please help us come on the podcast? I mean, we talked to Chris Nealon, who runs a multi-million-dollar company out in Calgary. We talked to the mayor of Kingston, and none of that would have been possible if we didn't just ask. So put yourself out there. Let them know you're students and you're trying to grow, you're trying to learn. And I think that anybody would be willing to help you. Obviously, there'll be some shuffling. Busy people in the world exist, and they're going to have to reschedule on you. It's a part of life. We've had to deal with that a few times over the last year. But like I said, if you guys know the famous quote, if you don't ask, the answer will always be no. So I encourage both of you to just ask and get who you want on here and do the interviews that are interesting to you. And hopefully you can leverage it like I did into a full-time position or into an internship and grow and execute and move your career forwards. But that would definitely be my biggest takeaway and biggest advice there, for sure.
I think that's very, very good advice. And I know Emily and myself have already kind of been discussing some cool people that we might want to have on. So hopefully you can watch the podcast at some point and kind of see that fearlessness in us, and the other hosts as well. I'm sure we have such like a wide variety of people joining us this year. So I think it'll be good.
Yes. And with their diverse backgrounds, they're going to have tons of contacts of who we can reach out to and schedule a podcast with. So I don't think in the next, 4 or 5 months, there'll be a lack of content or guests available. I know that with everybody going back to school, things are going to ramp up in the next 2 months, and I'm looking forward to kind of taking a step back behind the scenes and observing as a fan instead of a business partner. So I know you guys are going to do awesome, and I think it's going to be really cool to kind of see it grow from where it is now to where it goes in the next year or two. So I'm excited for you guys. I think you're going to have a lot of fun, and I am excited for your challenge. It's going to be cool to see.
Thanks, Leighton. Appreciate that. So why don't we switch a little bit and talk about you? You've said you're going to Calgary, you got a new job. What exactly is that? What are you doing, for those that don't know?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Good question. So over the past 2 years, I've gone to a marketing conference every February held in Banff, Alberta. The company that puts that conference on is called Cult Marketing, and it is what it sounds like. They work with brands that derive cult-like followings. So what happened was their former vice president, he spun off and he created his own company that specializes in cannabis marketing. So I was lucky enough to meet with him and talk to him a couple times over the past few years. He could tell just by the effort I was making to come out and join this conference and be involved that he thought I might be somebody that'd be a good addition to his team. He reached out to me in February after this past conference, and we kind of started talking and spitballing from there. So I will be joining his company, which is called Indelible, next month, and they specialize in cannabis marketing. So it's going to be product branding, product design, marketing, campaigns, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be doing some social media, a little bit of taste of everything. So I'm kind of going in there with an open book and an open mind, knowing that I have a lot to learn, but B, I'm going to be with an awesome team that specifically chose me to be a part of their team and has invested in my success. So I'm a little nervous, to be honest, just because it's a step up from obviously what I've been doing. But I know that I'm going to be committed. I'm going to be there to work. I'm going to do a good job, and hopefully it will turn into something bigger. But at the same time, it's such a great opportunity for personal growth for me, because you just have to push your boundaries and get out of your comfort zone. And obviously this is a big one. Living across the entire country in the middle of a pandemic is a lot of people have said it might be a little bit crazy, but hey, yeah, terrifying, right? At some point, but I feel like it was just a change that was necessary for me, and I'm super excited. I would have to say I'm ecstatic to get going, just to be around those inspiring, like-minded people who have done work with top level brands in the marketing industry. I can't help but become a better professional and a marketer when working with them. So like I said, I'm ecstatic to get going and kind of see where it takes me.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, we're all really excited for you, Leighton. I think you're going to do really, really big things. We both came from the same program, and I think all of our studies will provide you very, very well in your career to come. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations. It's a big deal.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Leighton, you're from out west, right? Do you like Calgary? Have you been there?
Yes. So I was actually born in Banff, Alberta, which is about an hour west of Calgary. So I'm quite familiar with the city. I had spent some time there when I lived out in British Columbia a few years ago. So I'm not a native of Calgary, but there's a comfort level there that I'm totally fine with. And yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of being on my own and it kind of getting ready to go in a new city. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is those infamous Calgary winters where it's going to be -30 by Halloween. So not too stoked for that, but I grew up on skis. My family, we skied almost every winter. So I'm going to try to take advantage as much as I can. And yeah, like I said, just looking forward to kind of starting a new adventure in Western Canada. But I know I'll have to bring some long johns and wool socks.
Yeah, I was not necessarily going to say anything about it, but I will say if there's anywhere to be where it's not freezing, it's close to the mountains where, like you said, you can go skiing, you can go snowboarding, you can do all those activities. That is a really big bonus, but can't say that I will be too jealous because it's going to be freezing.
Yeah, the winter lasts a good 6-7 months sometimes. Maybe not that extreme, but yeah, 5 months for sure. So, but yeah, like you said, lots of opportunities to do outside activities. Calgary's a rapidly growing city. I think there's 1.2 million people there now and still growing. But I'm only 45 minutes away from the mountains and a couple different ski resorts. There's golf resorts, there's hiking, biking, everything that you can kind of imagine is right there. So yeah, super pumped. Definitely looking forward to it. I hit the highway on Saturday the 15th. I start heading out there, gonna go out and get settled. So that's right around the corner. So I'm stoked and I'm ready to go. I got the van all packed and
already
just got to do just got to do a bit more tidying up and a few clothes that I'm going to wear over the next month, and I'm ready to go. So it's been a work in progress for a couple months now, and yeah, I think I'm ready. It's going to be good.
Good. It's nice to see. You seem very, very excited. You seem like you're ready to go. I know you've been in Kingston for a while, so it's nice to see you very excited and happy about this decision you're making. And I think too, I know you said you're nervous, but I think that's a good thing. I think you would be more worried if you weren't nervous.
Yeah.
And then it might kind of shock you when you get out there. So yeah, I'm super happy for you. Can't congratulate you enough, Leighton.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. I know you'll be doing some big things in the next couple of years too once you wrap up your BBA. And the world is our oyster. Same with you, Emily. I know that big things are in your future as well. And like I said, leverage this, because people look at this on a resume or in a portfolio piece, and if you can bring this to bear and use it as a portfolio piece, people respect that, and I know it can take you places. So kudos to both of you. Yeah.
Thanks, Leighton. I think we might wrap it up a little bit soon, but
Sure.
Is there any parting words? Maybe we'll start with Emily and then Leighton, if you want to just give some parting words, either to us or to the students who might be watching and who are going to miss you.
Yeah, I'm excited to take this task on. I'm excited to see what direction it can go and push it really further, and make it as much as it is right now. And of course, during this transition, there will probably be a bit of a break in episodes just as I start getting my footing, and just getting some videos and stuff and guests lined up for the students for the upcoming semester.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that too. I think for the students to know, that's a really, really good point. And everyone can just keep an eye on our social media pages when we'll be kind of up and running again, and there might be some just minor changes. So thanks for mentioning that, Emily.
Yeah, great point there for sure. And to be expected, it's going to take a couple weeks until things are comfortable and ready to go. So I think people can be aware of that and will be completely understanding. But as for parting words, for our loyal fan base and listeners who have been with us from the beginning, if you're still students or even if you're not, I would have to say, just go be brave, be fearless. Just go chase your dreams, because the answer will always be no, and you'll never get there unless you start. So I know that SLC is a very empowering place. Joining the SA was a great decision for me. I learned a lot. I met a lot of great people, and just the support I felt from the day one when I stepped in there was incredible. So it kind of helped me launch to where I'm going and where I will be in the next few years in my career. And to anybody listening, just do what you can. Try to get there and build baby steps and just work on it every single day, because if you don't start, you never will. And I think everybody has their own unique journey to kind of undertake and to go through in their life. And like I said, if you don't start, you'll never get there, and you'll have no one but to blame but yourself. So you have to kind of take onus and kind of do things your own way. But each and every single one of us is incapable of incredible things. And I think the human spirit is one of those things that people just kind of take for granted, but people are capable of doing anything they set their mind to. So my advice is just go get it. Just go get it. Put your head down, do the work, and go kick butt, because anybody can do whatever they set their mind to. So.
Awesome. That's amazing. Thanks so much, Leighton. I know that our viewers will definitely appreciate that messaging, and I think it's so true, especially for the times we're living in and just being young generation. We really value just going out there and getting what we want. So thank you, Leighton. We really, really appreciate that. Again, we're going to miss you so much. I think the podcast is in amazing hands with Emily, but we definitely would not be at this point without you, Leighton. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for your kind words. Emily, best of luck to you. I know you'll do great. And I know that things will continue to grow and evolve, and I'm excited to see from a fan base where it will go. And Elle, thank you for the kind words and words of encouragement. I'll be looking forward to seeing what you do in your personal life and career in the following years as well. Reach for the stars, guys. I know you can do it, and I'll see you there. Thanks for having me on, and thank you so much.
Don't be a stranger.